Hi, so my name is Riah Kinsey,
And I'm Milo Wissig.
and we are doing our digital poster presentation on packing, uh, a material history in brief. So one of the things I've been really interested in lately is uh, not just the history of packing, but also how knowledge, communal knowledge about how to pack and what to use and all of that information is sort of shared amongst different generations of trans guys. Um, these days, that happens on the internet, but in the past, that's happened in various different ways. Now it's social media. Before it was guides like Hudson's FTM resource guide, also YouTube, and before that, books, articles, and newsletters. Um, so I had a lot of questions about the history of packing and packers. Like, what was the first silicone packer? What was the first commercially available packer? And, what did people do before they had access to these kinds of items? Um, a lot of those questions were answered by some really amazing folks on the Trans Mask Dicks Reddit, pointed me towards the Digital Transgender Archive, and I saw a lot of articles from publications like the FTM newsletter in the 90s. Um, Showed some very early versions of silicone packers, other kinds of soft packers, prosthetics, even the first STP, or I guess I should say the first realistic silicone STP. I was also able to find some even earlier references. In this 1982 article, we see that there have been FTM prosthetics in the work since at least the 60s, which was really surprising to me. And in Information for the Female to Male Crossdresser and Transsexual from 1985, there was this 1906 case referenced where a young trans man was found to be wearing elaborately constructed prosthetic penis, which was even more amazing to me. So I started looking into a deeper history of packing. What were people pre-1900s using? How did they learn how to pack and go about their lives while packing? And I found information as early as the 1580s of transmasc individuals wearing packing prosthetics, many different styles, many different approaches to packing. You have the use of adhesive here, which is pretty amazing. Um, and you have, you know, examples in museums even of probable packing devices, even if they're not labeled that way. You can definitely see where something like this could have been used by a transmasc individual to pack with. And that's where Milo's going to come in.
Now, my role in this project has been to create replicas of some of these objects. For this one, I made this out of wood and denim using hand tools.
What's really cool is that, using hand tools, using denim, basically just this long held trans tradition of using what you have on hand to make what you need. And it's most likely that that's what's going on with this particular object. Um, Here you have a little bit more about the history of STP packers and STP prosthetics. Um, they probably have their origin in these types of prosthetic devices that were given to cis men who had been injured in wars, etc. And then you see them, these STP packers, showing up in the memoirs of these quote unquote passing women, women who would pass as men and go off to fight in wars. Um, We also see examples of quote unquote female urinals that are penis shaped. Um, People don't seem to really know what to make of these objects, but I like to think of, uh, you know, them being part of our material culture history as trans people. Uh, we also have documentation from carceral archives. This is from an Inquisition file of someone using both a packer and a uh, realistic STP made from leather and horn. I thought that was really interesting because, the struggle to find like a 3-in-1 device or a 2-in-1 device seems to be just, centuries old, really. Um, so this is an example of us kind of gathering all of our various SCPs and comparing them with a replica of the kind of device that that particular individual might have used.
And I started to create a replica of the horn STP. The medicine spoon is one that I also made maybe 15 years ago, and that didn't work so well for me as the bison horn did not work so well for the person who used it.
Yes, there is some information in the Inquisition file about that particular individual dribbling on their shoes when they would use it. And it was just like, oh man, struggle's real. Uh, yeah, so here are just some takeaways that we'd like to share with everyone. Uh, and yes, thank you so much for having us. And we hope to uh, follow up with you guys as the project progresses.
Thank you.